Well, good morning. We're in the process of hopefully finally setting up that big 400-gallon Bowfront Aquarium. We've had to have the stain sanded off the stand and re-stained to a dark walnut, which is what the homeowner wanted. We're currently en route to the homeowner's location. Jim, our Bowfront cabinet guy, has the standing canopy in his trailer, and he's just ahead of us here, and we're currently en route to get that set up. Salt you can carry up around back there with you. Yeah, I would just, all that stuff in the van, I just plan on taking up around with the guys.
So in addition to getting the stand and canopy unloaded off the carpenter's trailer, we've also got 400 pounds of rock, another 400 pounds of gravel, as well as all the tools and PVC pipe that we need to get moved up behind the house on the backside of where we're going to be building this tank.
A long-ass walk.
We've asked our old friend Greg.
Couldn't carry 2 of these.
Working me hard, dude.
Along with our good friend That's Correct Condi to help us on this 400-gallon Bowfront build-out.
Pretty heavy.
We've also got help from William and his buddies to help carry that tank stand and canopy into the house.
We don't mess around.
And the crew just wouldn't be complete without our cameraman, Rick.
Oh, I'd rather be on the other side of the camera any day.
Come on, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Listen.
And the first major task of the day is not only to get the stand carried into the house, but to get the homeowner's approval on the new stain.
Oh, wait.
With the stand now carried into the house and placed in front of the wall, once they remove the plastic wrap around the stand, they can then slide it up against the wall for its first preliminary fit.
Gotta come to you a little bit. Right there.
With the stand body now in position up against the wall, the next item to be carried in is the deck. This is the top of the stand, or what the tank will actually end up sitting upon. With the upper deck now in place, you can begin to see the inlaid metallic laminate midband across the face of the stand.
Level this, right? And shim it underneath, screw this. We'll slide this whole thing out to where Jim's standing, and that way we can work the tank from the back.
So as I confirm the homeowner's approval of the new dark oak stain, I need to know what the cabinet guy has planned.
Okay, so you're, finishing the electrical?
I'm not gonna do the electrical till the tank's in place.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Yeah.
So
And
what's your plan? What do you want to do?
I want to go home and have. You gonna feed me?
Come on over here.
All right. You gonna feed me?
No.
Well, then I'm going.
You got granola bars in the van. So what your plan is what?
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set this in place, find my studs, get it ready, and I'll level this top, and then we'll pull this whole thing away, slide the tank in from the back, and slide the whole thing
Okay,
back.
so what do you need to do then? Just start leveling the top here?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna have them at least start getting the tank ready.
Right.
To bring in.
Right. And that's why it's critical for me, because I don't want to hold everybody up.
Okay, so
I'm on it. No, still hasn't fed me.
And so as we wait for the cabinet guy to complete his end of the installation, William and Condi and their men begin to discuss how best to carry that big 400-gallon acrylic Bowfront Aquarium into the house. This big acrylic tank is 8 foot long, 30 inches wide at its ends, and 42 inches wide at its greatest point, or what's referred to as the apex of the bow. The tank itself is 30 inches tall from bottom to top.
pull the paper off before we get up to where the stand is sitting. Maybe that after that first set of steps, you flip it onto its back and then pull the paper off or something.
Okay.
And unlike when we did the Chet's tank, as you pull the paper off, kind of start doing some inspections.
Yes.
And God, please, don't have any pocket knives. Put that away.
And I'm sure you've heard of the infamous Jack the Pocket Knife guy from the cylinder tank episode. Let's make sure that does not happen again. So here's the plan on the stand. The stand body will be attached to the wall with screws drilling into the wall studs within the wall. The deck, or the upper top of the stand, is then shimmed with small little wedges so as to create a level platform for the tank to sit upon.
Go ahead and lift your corner. There you go. All right, a little more, just a lift. All right. Try that. Take a look at your levels.
Hi there, my name's Jim Stime and you know me as the LA Fish Guy. Well, I also wear a couple of other hats. One of them is the jellyfish tank called the Jelly Aquarium, and the third is myfishtank.com. I offer an entire line of acrylic aquariums ranging from rectangular to hexagon, flatback hex, as well as the custom curve front aquariums. There's also an entire line of stands and canopies ranging from MDF to pine to oak with a variety of different finishes available. And the website is even smart enough that you can calculate what the freight and crate charges to your location will be. That's myfishtank.com.
Hi, my name's Dean from Tropical Imports here in Glendale, California. We have all different types of tropical fish, freshwater and saltwater. We have reptiles, freshwater plants, goldfish, saltwater invertebrates. We've got all different types of little aquariums here for betas, for tropical fish, mini, nano reef, for plants, saltwater fish. I've got all different types of bowls. Whatever you like, we've got it.
And using carpenter's levels, once they've determined that the upper deck or platform in fact is level, they'll then screw it into place so that it can't move.
Looks okay to me. Okay. All right, that's our starting point. Okay. Probably gonna settle a little bit too when we put the weight on it. So what I need to do now, is you see this here? That's no good. So I need to get some shims to prop that up.
Any think should we take the doors off? That way it won't,
Nah, I'm okay with it, as long as you guys don't beat it to death, I'm good. So, what you're gonna do is you're gonna check here, and then come back here. See it? Look at that, that's not good. Because that tank gets into there, we need every bit of support for that thing. So, you can use a shim if you want, if you can't see because you're old like me. Okay, so what we're doing is, we need to make sure there's no bows. I don't know if you can catch that with the camera. But you can see that little bit of bow. We've leveled both sides. We've leveled the lengthwise, but what happens is, there's a little bit of a bow, and we want all that support we can get on that tank. It keeps that acrylic nice and flat. And so that's why we use such long levels. And so that's about it. And then at that point, we'll slide this whole thing out. Once we get this all leveled, we'll slide the whole thing out, slide the tank from the back. Careful not to damage the fins. And put the bulkheads on, and then we'll slide it the rest of the way on, which you'll see soon. So that's where we're at. And Jim hasn't fed on any of us. There's like 8 of us here, I think. Isn't there 6? 6 of us.
10. 10, and famous Dave's down the street.
Yeah, so, you know, he's always working us to death, not feeding us. Is it?
And here's where the real art of carpentry comes into play.
Try that. Now my shims are like right here, so I can do the back here in a
The
minute.
reason is water is the ultimate leveling device. If the stand is not level, the tank will reflect that.
Okay, how you coming along?
Good.
I'm kind of upset with the camera guy. What's that? I'm kind of upset with the camera guy.
Why? Because he keeps sticking his nose in there?
Yeah, he's not feeding us again.
I told you there's granola.
Oh, there's a, yeah, you're supposed to
granola
feed us.
bars in there.
Oh, granola bars.
This side seems to go up a little bit.
This side?
Yeah, this side.
Like when you say a little bit like a 16? Put the level and tell me how much.
Less than a quarter.
Less than a quarter. All right. So let me know if this does anything.
And so as Condi and the cabinet guy continue on with their task of leveling out the top of the stand, William and his guys begin to move forward, bringing some of the equipment in. They're carrying in the extra large wet-dry trickle filter that'll be operating the biological aspects of this tank. They'll be staging this as well as other pieces of equipment just off to the side.
And we raise that up.
I have to point out, it's not just the build plan that you have to keep in mind. It's your time and manpower management that you need to be aware of. I only have William and his guys until noon, and we still have to carry the tank in. I only have the cabinet guy until the stand is secured to the wall. And from there, I have Condi, Greg, Rick, and myself. Speaking of Greg, where is Greg?
So what are you doing here?
Well, I'm washing and cleaning the gravel, so we can put it in the tank when they get done. Putting the tank together so we can put the fish in there. Most of it's clean already, so it'll be ready for the tank.
I like a guy with initiative. Greg took on the task himself of beginning to clean out all the gravel that we're going to end up putting in the bottom of the tank. That's crushed coral, and it's got a lot of dust to it, and if we rinse it out in advance, it will minimize the cloudiness in the water when we fill the tank up.
The paper towels.
I think you're on the screws or something. There's this.
Show them the product info. It's gotta be perfect.
That'd be perfect, I think. All right, so I'm going to put some screws in there.
So as Condi's showing you, they've got the top of the stand or the platform or the deck almost perfectly level from the left end to the right end and from the front all the way back. That's important for an acrylic aquarium. Even though it's flexible, we don't want to stress it out by making it flex too much. So apparently there's a bit more of an incline to the floor than originally anticipated, and we don't have enough shims to completely support the base of the stand. But one thing that we do have a lot of support is that gung-ho spirit that Greg has in cleaning out all that gravel for us in advance.
Okay, so we've got the stand in here. He's got the deck placed on top of it. I get the impression that we're a little off here, so we're in the midst of adding some shims in there to level out the top of the stand itself. Once Jim, the Bowfront cabinet guy, has that all done, We'll then have the other guys help us carry that big, humongous tank in. That's gonna require some. So until then, we'll see you in the next part. Get in there. Yes. So there's your credits.